Welcome to Harmonize Your Life, Conversations on Self-Care for Women of Color podcast with your host, Dr. Toni G. Alvarado. We'll be right back. Well, I'm glad to have you with us again for another episode of our podcast Conversations. This is the month of June, and so we are now in another series of conversations on self-care, health, and wellness. This month, we're focusing on some of the women who are a part of the Harmonize Your Life Women's Self-Care Network. Last year, in the month of June, I launched a self-care network. After launching the podcast in March of 2020, we launched the self-care network in June 2020. And so this month makes one full year that we have been actively engaging women from around the country and around the world in this space of self-care, health, and wellness. And so I am delighted today to have one of my beloved sisters, friends, mentees, coaches, colleague. We wear so many hats with each other. Girlfriend,
yes.
and just a sister beloved. Reverend Melodie Boone is our guest in the podcast studio today, and I know you're going to be blessed by our conversation today as we talk about this idea of mind over matter. We're going to talk about mindset and mind over matter. Let me just introduce Reverend Melodie Boone to you. So Reverend Melodie Boone is a gifted psalmist, writer, preacher, and teacher. She is a native of Lenora, North Carolina. Did I say that right? Lenore?
No, Lenore.
Lenore. Okay. Lenore, North Carolina. She is passionate about people. I can attest to that. She's passionate about people, vision, and birthing purpose in individuals' lives. She is the owner and CEO of Liberty Coaching and Consulting, a boutique coaching company that inspires, encourages, and empowers church leaders, pastors, their spouses, budding entrepreneurs, and aspiring writers to birth their dreams and visions and unleash their creative potential. Melodie is a certified life coach, executive leadership coach, a vision strategist, and she is gifted in empowering people to initiate change, clarify vision, and achieve ministry and personal success. Reverend Melodie Boone is an ordained and itinerant deacon in the
elder.
Okay, you got to update. Oh, I see. It says deacon first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the order.
Yeah. She was ordained a deacon, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
In 2001, I see in your bio here. And then she was ordained an elder in the African Methodist Episcopal Church in 2003. She is blessed to serve as an assistant pastor at the St. Mark AME Church in Virginia Beach, Virginia, where her wonderful husband, Reverend Toni Boone, serves as the senior pastor. Melodie is the author of Fearless, and I have written the foreword to that book, Fearless, so you need to get it. 7 strategies to making change, the change you need to unleash your God-given potential. She's also the creator of the publishing workshop, So You Want to Be Published. She's currently working on several projects, including a new book titled The A Principle, which empowers pastors of small churches to build membership engagement and retention. She is an honors graduate of the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, and she is a certified growth coach through Targeted Living Coaching and Consulting, where yours truly is her trainer. All right, coach trainer. All right. Melodie is also an executive leadership coach through the Paradigm 360 coaching organization in Charlotte. She was blessed to receive the honor of Coach of the Year in 2015, winning the Coach Beelan Award of Excellence in Coaching through Paradigm 360 Coaching in Charlotte, North Carolina. She is the proud mother of 2 sons, Brian and Bryson, and her daughters, Nicole, Alexandria, and Brittany, who now resides in heaven. For more information, I'll give you more information on how to find Melodie before we leave our conversation on today. She and her husband are the founders of the Sacred Conclave, and you'll get more information about that as we talk today. So, Melodie, let's get into our conversation.
Yes, ma'am, Dr. Toni. I'm so excited to be here. I don't know. I was going to be nervous. I was like, Melodie, it's just Pastor Toni. You'll be all right.
Yeah, girl, we're going to talk like we always do.
Yes, ma'am.
We're just having this is conversations on self-care for women of color. And so we're pretty organic in our approach to our conversations. We always have maybe a theme or topic or something that we want to discuss, but we let the conversation grow. You know how we do as girls? We just talk.
We just talk.
And then we let it kind of go where it's gonna go. Mm-hmm. And people are always blessed. I'm always blessed by my guests. And I'm always getting people that tell me that this podcast is blessing their lives.
Good. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'm glad to have you here, Reverend Melodie. So I want us to talk about, Melodie, this idea. First of all, you're a member of the Harmonize Your Life Women's Self-Care Network. You have the distinction of being, when I started this journey on self-care, I believe you've been a part of my entire journey, I think.
Yes, ma'am.
Just about. So, and we started the retreat, so just so people would know, my journey started with over 20 years ago, about 21, 22 years ago, right after I had my daughter. And I was 37 years old, and I was stricken with Graves' disease. I was overly stressed, overworking, in ministry, pastoring. We were running, we were doing church on steroids, okay? Church on steroids. I'm talking about services, 3 and 4 services a Sunday. We were in seminary, going back and forth up the highway to school. We had 3 children. All of our children are 15 months old. At that time, I had 3 children under the age of 3. Ooh. And I was really just about to, my itinerant ministry had just begun to birth. So Bishop Alvarado and I were on the road preaching. We were in the city preaching, running services here and there. We had 2 or 3 locations of our church back then. We were on television. We had television ministry going on. So it was a busy time. Wow. Sometimes when I look back over that period of my life, I'm wondering, Lord, how in the world did we even do all that? I don't know. We must have been crazy or on something. I don't know. But anyway,
I've always admired you, though, because you have been a master of juggling so many balls and doing it with so much excellence. So,
well, let me just say this. I'm not a master of that anymore. Because what I have learned is that I don't have to juggle all those balls.
That's right.
And juggling all those balls almost killed me. So, no, I am not the master of juggling balls. I don't know if any of us are. But I learned back then that if I don't take care of me, that I'm no good to anybody that I'm called to serve, minister to, love, whatever, whether it's in my family, whether it's in the ministry or whatever. So I began this journey, as you know, 20 something years ago. And then after, I want to say maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I started the self-care retreat. And you were at my first retreat, and every retreat I've done, you've been there.
Yes. Would not miss it. Would not miss it.
And now we're on our way to Aruba, girl. I can't wait.
I'm trying to get in shape for Aruba.
Oh, you're getting there. I'm watching you. You're getting there. So, Mel, you have been on this journey with me. Talk to us a little bit about your journey in through self-care, through fitness, through wellness. Our theme this month, and I'm highlighting the women, particularly from the Self-Care Network this month because we just finished a fitness challenge.
Yeah.
For my birthday in the month of May. And
yes.
And you've been walking this journey with me. So I wanted to highlight you. I wanted to start our month highlighting you and your journey through fitness, through health, wellness, self-care, the whole gamut.
Well, you know, Dr. Toni, my thing has been it's really been a challenge for me because I did not have a good relationship with food. I was addicted to food, and not only did I like the way that it tasted, but it was a pacifier or a panacea for me for years. Yeah. And it was very, very unhealthy. And I had tried several times to do something about my weight. I tried, I've tried the exercise thing, and even years ago, I've joined gyms, but nothing really ever stuck. And I really believe because my mind didn't click, I didn't really, that mindset, that mind over matter, I just wasn't really engaged. And so, as you know, I'll be 60 my birthday in next February. And I just realized, the beginning of the year, Melodie, you are almost 60 years old. If you're not going to do something about it now, you'll never do it. Wow. And so I just had this determination from the beginning of the year to really get serious about my self-care, how I relate to food, my distaste for water, and my inconsistency with exercise. And so with us being engaged with your network and, you're always pouring into us about taking better care of ourselves and having a better relationship with exercise. And of course, we see your videos. We see you pumping weight every day. I mean, you're climbing mountains. I mean, you're not walking just on trails. You're climbing mountains.
I started hiking last year in the pandemic. What else could I do? Couldn't go anywhere. So I was like, you know what? Let me find something else I can do. Let me take this walking thing to a whole nother level. So I started finding trails around Georgia and hiking. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
If anybody knows you're passionate about hiking and trails, it is me. But I just did not embrace it, and it could have been laziness. I just think it was my mindset. I wasn't committed. I wasn't focused. I wasn't determined. But, turning 59 in February, I said, girlfriend, you got to get yourself together. So being in the network has really helped me to kind of like compartmentalize what I needed to do, how I needed to do it. And I've had some other areas. My husband, who's been phenomenal because he's very focused as well, had another girlfriend. She did a challenge. I joined her challenge and won her challenge. And then you opened up the doors for your challenge for the month of May. And I just stepped in and just was determined that I was going to do my best. And so it has really been eye-opening for me. But not only that, just all these small little areas in my life have changed. And I have a new determination. And now I really enjoy the walking. I'm getting to the point where I'm enjoying the water more. And, I've changed, and, I don't relate to food the same way. I don't need to eat a whole plate of food anymore. I don't have to go back for seconds anymore. The food's not going anywhere. And even if it does, there's always tomorrow.
Wow. I want to read something to you, here, because you said a whole lot, and we're going to tease this out just a little bit more for those who are listening. But, listen to this. This is from Dr. Carol Dweck. She is a psychologist, and she explains the mindset theory that people hold. She explains the growth mindset, and she says that it is a theory that people hold about themselves. Our mindset, she says, profoundly impact learning, achievement, relationships, and overall success and well-being. Well, now, you know, as Christians, we should know something about mindset, remember? Because all through the Bible, we're taught about our mind. We're taught, let this mind be in you that was also in Christ. Be transformed by what? The renewing of your mind. You know, this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate. That's mind. Meditate in it day and night. So we should know something about our mindset. Paul talks about in Philippians, whatsoever things are lovely, honest, pure.
Think on these things.
Think on these things. And so why is it that we think that we can live a successful life, that we can grow, that we can have, that we can be healthy, spirit, soul, and body without changing our mind?
Well, you know what, Pastor Toni, I really believe that it is a war.
Oh, yeah.
Between flesh and the soul realm. You know, we often talk about this struggle between flesh and spirit, but we hardly ever talk about this war between flesh and soul realm, which is your mind. And I really think that if you don't put your mind under subjection, you will never be focused to do anything, because your mind is what's telling you what you can't do, what you shouldn't do, why you shouldn't be focused. Oh, go ahead and have another piece of chicken. That's those inner thoughts is always seducing you to do what you shouldn't do. Oh, you don't have to get up and exercise today. You can always exercise next week. And, and this is another thing that, I know we're going to talk about later on in the podcast. I was struggling because there were mornings where my husband was saying, oh, you don't have to walk today. We'll walk another time. Come on, just, you don't have to walk. And I was like, and for a while, I was coming to agreement with him until I realized that nobody was going to walk for me but
nobody is going to walk for me but me. And, and that's one of the things that when you talk about mindset, and we talk about, the impact that maybe even other people that mean us well. No, your husband wants you to be healthy. Your husband is a pretty healthy guy. And my husband wants me to be healthy. But sometimes as women, what we do is we tend to, because we're so relational, we tend to go with, if my husband doesn't go. Like, I was like that way. When I first started working out, I wanted my husband to do everything with me. I wanted him to get on the treadmill with me. I wanted him to, go to the gym with me. And then I had to realize one day that was not his thing. And, he had to learn some ways to find him. He had to find his way into his own journey of wellness. There's some things that we learned to do together. We learned how to eat better together. We had to do that. And then, my husband is an avid shooter, so he likes going on the shooting range. So he gets a lot of his exercise on the range. And then we found a common place that we enjoy, which is bike riding. So now, like just last week, he went and got our bikes together and all of that. And I'm looking forward to us getting some bike riding in this summer. And so, but yeah, it's that mindset and things that we tell ourselves. People say to me, Melodie, people tell me sometimes, they say, oh my God, Dr. Toni, you just love getting up early in the morning. Can I tell you the truth? I do not love getting up. Now, I do enjoy exercise, but I'm going to tell you, I have to talk to myself to get up. I don't just get up saying, oh, yes, it's time to work out. I have to tell myself, all right, Toni, get up, get yourself together, go in that bathroom, wash your face, brush your teeth, put them shoes on, get down there. And some days I'm just not feeling it.
I call it.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I call it the push. There are days that I literally have to push myself to get up and, and get out there and do the 10,000 to 12,000 steps a day. it is a push for me. And, I was laying in the bed just a few days ago and it was about 6:15, wanted to lay there and literally had to say, okay, Melodie, come on, get your feet on the floor, let's go. And I literally have to push myself up out of the bed to do what I need to do. And I'm finding that is particularly with me walking and drinking water. I just have to do it. I have to force myself to do it on those days I don't feel like doing it.
Right.
And it's the push, and you just got to do that if you're going to accomplish it, because your body's saying you don't need it. And even sometimes your mind's saying, girl, you can do it tomorrow. But you've got to get up and be determined. This is what I've got to get done today.
Yeah. And and when you said I have to push myself, what are some of the things that are you finding that you have to say to yourself in changing your mind?
Well, you know what? It is so funny that you asked me that, because I have like a little system and I want to share it with you, and I brought it with me. Well, I'm an avid planner. And so what I did, I designed a whole little wellness, and you can't see everything, but I have all sorts of things. I have how I'm strengthening my mind, how I'm strengthening my body, what I'm loving about myself. And then what I have here is I just encourage myself. I love color. I love design. So I have all of these sayings, empowerment statements that I use.
Yeah.
That I have. And then another page that I just have what I want to do at least 4 days a week is get it done. I have 10,000 steps. I have my exercise program. I have how many calories I want to eat per day. I have how many ounces of water that I want to drink per day, which is 70 to 100 ounces a day. And I have that down. And then here are more empowerment statements that I have.
Okay.
And then I have a weight chart.
Okay.
And this is really what I have done I started last September. But, once a month, I will just jot my weight down just to keep myself on target about where I am. I don't beat myself up, but I really just try to put things in front of me that will keep me encouraged. And along with that, staying in touch with your network. You are always empowering us. You are always giving us nuggets of let's do this. Come on, y'all. You can get it done. You show us videos of yourself working out or climbing those mountains. And so seeing that kind of like pushes you to want to do or want to be better or try to achieve at least half of what Pastor Toni's doing.
Oh my God. And and I love that. So I heard you say what I heard you say is you speak affirmations.
Yes.
To yourself. And those things shift our mindset.
Yes.
They change our mindset. Life and death is in the power of our tongue.
Yes.
So a lot of what we say shapes the way we think.
And what we do.
And come on, because as a man or woman thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Yes.
I always say, our habits, our mind shapes our habits, and our habits shapes our lifestyle.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
so
it's made a difference.
Our mind shapes our habits. The way we think shapes our mind. And what shapes our mind is what we say. So our words shape our mind. Our minds, shape our habits. And our habits shape our lifestyle.
Yeah.
And our lifestyle is whether or not how we live our lives, will determine the quality of our lives. And that doesn't mean that you won't have any issues or you won't ever get sick or you won't ever have any bad days or whatever. But for the most part, you and I can live a healthy lifestyle. I told someone recently, they was talking about growing old, and I just turned 58, and I did the fitness challenge for my birthday. I did the 58 for my 58th birthday. I asked as many women that would to join me in exercise. And that's all I wanted, was to see more women exercising, moving their body. You didn't have to do what Dr. Toni did. And some of the women said, well, are we going to work out with you in the morning? No, you're going to do you. This is Harmonize Your Life. So you're going to work around your life, your schedule, what it is you enjoy. I did give you all some parameters, some things I wanted to see you do. But then I said, do what you can do. But the point is, move your body, walk, get your steps in, drink your water, and take time to rest, reflect, journal, and stay connected to the network so we can encourage one another. And I saw you doing that, Melodie. I saw you took that fitness challenge, girl, and you ate it up.
I was determined.
You took it. You
was determined. But you know what? Even with the challenge, Pastor Toni, there were days that, for example, I'm not that coordinated. So when you had us do 58 lunges, I really struggled because I didn't have the coordination of a lunge. And so I just modified. And those, those days that, I could not do, I call them men's push-ups. I would modify it, and then I would break it down so I wouldn't do all 58 at one time because I'm so out of shape. I would just do 10 or 15 here, another, all through the day. So by the end of the day, I would normally get to 60, but I had to modify as I went along. And it was determined to get it done some kind of way. And so like with the lunges, if I couldn't do it, I would modify and do something else.
But that speaks to mindset, Melodie. Yeah. The fact that you were able to modify and you broke it down in pieces that you could handle.
Yes.
That's mindset. So what happens is oftentimes we feel like if we can't do it all, we don't do anything.
Right?
Yeah. So it's all or nothing for most of us and for a lot of people. And when we live our lives with an all or nothing proposition or way of living and being in the world, we lose.
Yeah.
We lose. We really do.
Well, here's the thing too. That has been my history. All or nothing. And the majority of the time, I would do 60 or 70%. Let's do 30 or 40%. And if I couldn't do it all, I felt like I was a failure and then just threw in the towel. And so that battle of being consistent, being focused, I never had it because, it was all or nothing. But with your challenge, and I'm going to be honest, I really wanted to do well because, I had you and Dr. Talea.
Who is a part of the network, who has been a guest on our podcast, who teaches at our Women's Self-Care Retreat, Dr. Talea Clark, medical doctor, internal medicine. Yes, go ahead.
But she's my spiritual daughter, and she would call me up, and she said, Reverend Mel, did you do your exercises today? Are you drinking your water? Reverend Mel, give me a status of what you're doing. And I was like, so I was accountable to not only the self-care network, I was really accountable to Talea because she was calling me, checking up on me. And I wanted to give her a good report because I see myself, although she's a far more fit than I am, but because she sees me as her spiritual mom, I wanted to say, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing a good job. And so I did that, and it really helped me to be more determined to finish the challenge and finish it well. And so I really think that when you have that accountability, when you have people pushing you, and even the other sisters in the network.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, when I was tagging, I was not on, and Talea's not even on social platforms. So I was tagging you and the other sisters that I'm close to in the network so they would know, hey, Melodie's doing what she's supposed to be doing. and that was another thing that really pushed me to be focused and determined to finish. And, it was about me being accountable to them, but it was also about me being accountable to myself and showing up for yourself.
showing up for Melodie. You showed up
Yes.
for Melodie, and as a result, you showed up for the other women because you getting out there every day and climbing ladders, as you call it. You were encouraging others in the network. And I saw other women saying, oh, Reverend Mel, you're doing so good. And then I would see them out there. We were tagging each other. And then Beverly Coyne, we out here in these self-care streets. And so, I mean, we just really, it was just so good to see everybody embracing this challenge and embracing their fitness, you know, at another level. And it wasn't just about weight loss because, you know, it wasn't just about that, although that was a byproduct of it for most of the women. But it was more about feeling good and changing our mind. You said something. You're talking about this whole. You know, we talk about it in coaching: support, encouragement, and accountability.
Yes, the C model.
The C model. We talk about that in coaching, and how important is that to our mindset?
Yes.
Support,
encouragement, accountability. Yes.
It really is important to the way we think.
It is.
And being connected to the right group of people.
That is so important, Pastor Toni. So important, because you need people who are not only walking alongside with you, but you need people on those days that you don't feel like pushing to say, come on, girl, you can do it. Come on, you can handle it. Come on. I'm expecting you to, I'm looking for you. Were you out there at 6 o'clock? I didn't see you. Oh gosh, somebody's looking at me. So you got to get out there and do, because other people are looking at you, and that's that accountability. And it really makes a difference.
Yeah. And then also, not only that, but also people that will give you grace and permission when you need to rest. Because one morning you posted, you posted, which was good. You said, I didn't feel like it today, so I took a recovery day. And I tell people all the time, that's why I don't work out on the weekends. I work out Monday through Friday, and I usually take Saturday and Sunday to recover, to rest. But even if it's during the week, if I need a recovery time, if something's going on, you know that I recently lost my mom. And so, you know, last week, there were a couple of days I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, I did the days that I felt like it, I did. And the days that I didn't, I gave myself permission to rest. I gave myself permission and gave myself some grace.
Yes. And I also think, Pastor Toni, that we need to talk about guilt.
Yeah.
Because there are days that, you know, when you don't feel like doing it, and then you feel guilty. And then if you don't put that guilt in check, it can go over to the next day. And then you feel so bad. Well, I'm not going to do it today either, because what's the use? And then there's this snowball effect. But I think that once the guilt comes, you got to put that guilt in check and then get up the next day and be determined. Well, you know what? I didn't drink my 128 ounces of water. I only drank 50, but I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I'm just going to start all over again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And when you can confront that guilt, it will not paralyze you where you cannot continue to grow, to improve, and to show up the next day.
Wow. That is so... that's so important. And you know that guilt works both ways, Melodie, because that guilt works in one way. It works where we're beating ourselves up if we don't feel like we measured up and whatever goals we set for fitness, for self-care, for health, for wellness. If we have said, like you said, if I set a goal for 120 ounces a day and I didn't get but 60, you know, we feel guilty. Or if I was supposed to work out 5 days and I only did 3, then we feel guilty or whatever. But there's also another part of guilt that we have that oftentimes women succumb to when it comes to self-care is what we call self-care guilt, where we actually feel guilty about taking care of ourselves.
Oh, yes. Yes.
We feel like I don't deserve this. I should be, doing
other things.
yeah, I should be doing other things or whatever. And one of my friends said to me, this is self-care for women of color. Other women can watch this podcast and enjoy it. We're good with that. And there are certain things that just doesn't matter. Your culture is women, period. But I need to say this to women of color. Our white sisters, they don't feel bad about taking care of themselves.
Nope.
They don't care nothing about going to spas and having a whole spa day with their girlfriends. And you know what I'm saying? They lavish on themselves. Black women, sometimes we feel like we got to explain
why. Yes.
Why.
Mm-hmm.
Or we gotta justify. Girl, I work fine. I work so hard. You ain't got to explain to anybody why you taking care of you.
That's right.
And you don't have to feel guilty about taking care of you. Yeah. And so, as pastors, as ministry leaders, as wives, as mothers, sometimes we deal with self-care guilt. And that's a mindset that we have to overcome.
Yeah. And you have to see value in yourself, that you are worth it. You're worth investing the time and the money in yourself. I'll tell you something funny. I graduated from a 60-minute massage to a 90-minute massage.
Yeah.
Because I'm worth it. I graduated.
I'm going for one tomorrow, girl. Going for one tomorrow.
I just said, what, Melody, you have you're tired, your muscles. When you go get your massage, you need a 90-minute massage. Yeah. And it is okay. And you are worth the investment.
And you know what? And you're right. You're worth the investment. You're worth spending the money on yourself.
On yourself.
You spend money on everything else. You might as well spend some money on you. And I tell women, well, I can't afford a trainer. Well, maybe if you didn't buy all them 1,500 pairs of black shoes, or one pair at a time, and how many black shoes do we own?
Or those expensive bags.
Come on now. That's not doing anything. You wearing the bag, but you feel horrible. You look horrible.
Right.
You know what
and
I'm
when
saying?
We really need to be investing in ourselves and our physical, our getting a dietitian, getting a trainer, signing up for an exercise class, buying you some exercise equipment, buying you a mat that you can work out on. Those are small things, but
and Melody, really, it doesn't cost, people say, it costs, but it's going to cost either way. Yeah. I tell people all the time, you're either going to pay to be healthy or you're going to pay to be sick. Yes. Do you want to pay for a massage or do you want to pay for co-pays and medicine?
Yes.
Because you're going to pay. One way or the other, you're going to pay. And so it's pay me now, pay me later. So I'd rather pay for a massage, a facial, a cruise. I'd rather go on vacation with my girlfriends and my husband, my children. I'd rather spend my money on those things, on some, not all my money, because, I use my money for other things like philanthropy. And of course, I'm a tither and giver and those kinds. But I'm talking about the money that we waste on stuff that does not bring us any joy, does not fulfill us anymore, that doesn't help us to be healthy, spirit, soul, and body. And so redirect some of those funds. It's a mindset.
Yeah, it is.
I'm worth it.
Yeah, and when you realize that you're worth it, you don't mind making the investment. Even before I went to the 90-minute massage, one thing that you poured into me, and that was doing a monthly massage for myself. Mm-hmm. And before COVID, I had, started, I'd been going like over a year, going every month just to getting a massage. And then I graduated from a 60 to a 90-minute. Yeah. But just that investment of just going to Massage Envy or going to a really nice, spa where I could go and just lounge all day, I was worth it. And that's what I did.
Yeah, you're worth it. And so I'm so glad that you're a part of this self-care network. and that you've invested even there. You joined the network. You paid the nominal membership fee to be a part of it. And when I tell women how much it costs to be a part of the network, they go, "Really? It's not more than it's really not more than that. It's simple.
A cup of coffee.
It's the cost of a cup of coffee, literally,
it's a cup of coffee,
or a lunch meal. If you go to a decent, a halfway decent restaurant, it's not. It's a small investment to make in yourself, and it's a small investment to be healthy, spirit, soul, and body, and to be connected to a community of women who are concerned about self-care for women for themselves and other women of color, other women in our community. Because like I always say, what good is it being healthy and being connected to an unhealthy community?
You know, and I wanted to say something more about the self-care network because it is a safe place, not only for like the C model, getting support and encouragement and accountability, but another thing that I love so much about the self-care network is the level of transparency.
Okay.
And how, you know, the women don't mind sharing struggles and victories and, you know, and how we cheer each other on and we cry together and laugh together. And it's a wonderful network to be a part of because you get, I'm going to say it like my mom used to say it, you get a whole slew of stuff. You get a whole slew of stuff when you become a part of the self-care network. And I just love it. I love it for the community, the sisterhood. I love coming together for tea time. It's just a wonderful group to be a part of.
Yeah. And and it's been a refreshing well for me. I started it as a way of giving to women and supporting women, but it's been a support to me, especially in this season.
Yes.
As I'm walking through grief.
Yes.
Which is very real.
Yes.
And, and having women like you in my life that says, Dr. Toni, take your time. You've lost your mother. We have women in the network. I got a text just yesterday from Dr. Talea, whose mother passed away several years ago. And she just texted me and said, I've been there. I know where you are. And it came right when I needed it yesterday because it was a hard day. Yesterday was really rough for me. And just when I needed it, I got a text from Dr. Talea. Hey, thinking about you. I've been there. I know where you are. You'll get through this. Take your time. All of that. And so it's been such a blessing, this network. And not, some of the guests who've been on here, like Dr. Sarah Williams, who I had on about grief, my sister Yolanda, who we talked about grief. And now I'm living through, things that I have interviewed people about and talked about. And I'm able to go back and pull on some of that and walk through it. It's different for everybody. Everybody grieves differently, but still grief is grief. Yes. And there are things about it that are common, and there are things about it that are unique to each and every one of us. But having set up this self-care network, I'm like, it's helping me in this season for what I need. I said to you earlier, tomorrow, this week, we'll make the second full week of my mom's passing. And this week, I'm really, really going inward. I'm going to, I have, some things I already had on the calendar, like my physicals is this week. My mammogram was already on the calendar for this week. And then I set up a massage and a facial, and I set up some reflexology. I need to call my chiropractor because I got to get back in with her. And then, I set up my grief counseling. And so I start with a new therapist, a grief counselor, a grief therapist, someone who focuses specifically on grief. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to whatever I'm going to learn about myself in this journey, in this process. But it's all a part of the mindset, right? It's all a part of taking care of ourselves.
But I also think too, Pastor Toni, with dealing with the grief, it's also very vital for your self-care and allowing people to help you and being willing to talk about it and finding that safe environment for you to really be vulnerable and talk about your journey and walk through, like I said, the valley of the shadow of death, with someone, whether it be a therapist, a counselor, a pastor, a friend, and it's just important. And I think once you allow yourself to share the journey, it's so much, it's easier. It's not as difficult, and it's not as lonely. But that's still a part of our mindset, because if we do not allow help to come, assistance to come, if you do not have somebody that you can share those feelings with, then that grief turns inward, and you can sit there and you can get muddled down in the mire and the muck of grief. So I think it's just important I think it's critical to our self-care, to even as we deal with loss on so many different levels. That we allow people to support us. And sometimes grief comes and you want to walk alone because you're angry and you're hurt and you can't believe that that person is gone, or you lost a job, or because grief comes in all. It's just not the loss of a child or a loss of a spouse or mom. It's a loss of jobs and friendships and ministries.
We're grieving in this pandemic because we lost. One of the reasons I started the whole self-care network in the middle of a pandemic was because we were all like, oh my God, what is going on?
What is going on?
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we lost income, we lost opportunities, although new things began to birth. But in the beginning, the way we normally operate, everything changed.
Yes.
And there was a lot of loss. And then hearing every day those numbers of people who were dying in our country and around the world from COVID-19. You can't just keep listening to those numbers every day and that not impact you in your soul.
And you not deal with it.
And in your mind. And you be afraid, fearful to go outside. I determined even in the pandemic, I'm not going to live in fear.
That's right.
And that was a mindset, I said, I'm going to be cautious. I'm going to wear my mask. I'm going to get the vaccine, which I did. I'm washing my hands more, all that stuff, wiping down and things like that. But I'm not going to be paranoid and live in fear. So I'm still going to go out. I'm still going to do some things. I'm not going to just be locked up in some tower, afraid to live life.
Yeah. And I just think that, it's just important that you allow yourself to confront all those issues that we were facing, particularly after the pandemic struck, and adjust the way you live, like you said, but you have to keep on living.
You got to live until we die, right?
We got to live until we die. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, look, thank you, Mama Baker.
Yes, thanks to Mama Baker. Thanks to my mom. She taught us how to live until we die. And I took some time today to just spend by myself. I had a really good day today. Yesterday was rough, but today was better. I'll just put it that way. It was better. And I know that every day is a journey. And I know I'll have some more bad days and I'll have some more better days. So I'm good with that. But I was sitting today in my quiet time. I had some time completely, for the first time since my mom passed, by myself. No husband around, no children around, family members gone, just completely alone. I had several hours where I was in the house by myself. And I'm the type that I don't have on the television. I did tune into our podcast, our worship service. But I don't usually do like I could be in my house literally all day, Mel, without turning on the television, music, or anything. I just enjoy the quiet. That's me. Sometimes I may have on music. But I haven't even really been able to watch television lately. It's just not where I am. But I just had that time and I talked to Mom and I was like, I miss you already really bad. But then I said, but I thank you. And I started thanking her just out loud, thanking her for all the lessons that she taught me. And the more I thanked her, the better my spirit got. The more my spirit lifted. I went to the grocery store. I got some things that I needed to get because I told my family, I'm going to get in the kitchen and cook for y'all today. And just cooking for my family just made me feel better.
Great.
And, so yeah, it's a mindset and it's, all of it. All of it. Living in that moment, allowing myself to feel what I'm feeling. And, but determined not to get paralyzed.
Yeah, you can't, and I'll be honest with you. There was a while there, I got stuck in my grief and I held on to it. And I think I held on to it a little bit too long, but I had to get to a place of releasing those feelings and moving on and allowing myself to push myself through it so I could continue on living. And I looked at my sons one day and I realized that they needed their mom more so than they needed somebody who was stuck in the loss of their sister. And I think once I made that determination that I wanted to not only live for myself, for my marriage, but I wanted to live for my sons. I wanted my sons to see a testimony of how you can survive and how you can have joy and how you can enjoy your family, although you've gone through something as traumatic as we did. And I think as a family, we've come a long way, but I think it was our willingness and let me just say this, although COVID had a lot of negative connotations to a lot of people, COVID was a gift to us because it allowed us to shelter in the four of us. And it brought us closer together. We did things we haven't done together in a long time.
Here.
Sitting around, talking, cooking together, laughing. It was wonderful. And that was, I really believe that was God's gift. To me.
A lot of hidden gifts.
Yes, it really was.
A lot of hidden gifts. Mel, you did the challenge. How many steps did you average during the fitness challenge?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to say on the average, I think when I gave you my numbers, it's a little bit over 11,000 that I did. A day.
For 31 days.
Yes.
Wow. How much water did you drink a day?
Well, look, I told Toni, water jug. I said, because I want to show Pastor Toni. This is my jug, and this is a gallon, so about 128 ounces. And when I was really in the middle of your challenge, I was making it my business to drink this every day, and I'm still pretty focused on doing at least 90 ounces a day, but I try to do 128 ounces a day.
Wow.
And you can see this is how far I am for today. And the day is still young, but I try to drink this every day. Now, here's the thing. I hate water. And have never embraced drinking it. I have this thing about pipes and where the water is and what's in the pipes. And I can't go to a restaurant and drink table water. It's just something that I could never do. So I had some mindset issues when it came to water. But then when you laid out what you really wanted to do, I was like, golly, I'm going to drink all this water. But I was just determined to drink the water. And
has your mindset about water changed?
Oh, most definitely. Now it's all I want to drink. It's all I want to drink. I've gotten to a point where I like the taste of it now. Sometimes I do put oranges in it. I slice up some oranges.
I put
oranges in it. But now I get thirsty and I want water. So it is totally, and I can feel a difference in my body. I Come on, let's be
We can
real.
see
I
it
can see a
too.
difference in my bowel movements. I can see
Yeah.
a difference in how many times I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I think it's only because I'm drinking so much water, but it has really helped me lose the weight. You know, as I told you already, just with the challenge, I lost 7 pounds just for the month of May.
In the month of May. And since January, how much have you lost?
I've lost 28 pounds.
Hey, girl, that's good. That is
and
really
you know what?
good.
I'm still not, I'm about.
You're going to get to your goal sooner.
Well, you know what? I had given myself until December of 2021 to get down to my goal. My goal weight, I'm not ashamed to say, my goal weight is 170. And my husband said, Melodie, he said, you're going to reach 170 way before December.
Oh,
he
yeah.
said, the rate you're going. And so what I'm going to do is once I do reach my goal weight of 170, I'm just going to continue to exercise, drink the water, to eat healthy, and just, continue on to see how much weight I can lose. But I just want to do it in a healthy way. And so I'm really excited about the weight loss. I couldn't see it. I really couldn't see it on myself. And then I think I was out walking one day and, I was tagging my pictures with you all. And I took a picture of myself and I looked at myself. I was like, oh my gosh, look at my face. I can really see where I'm losing some weight. So it's really exciting. So
I'm doing so good. I really see it in your face, and you're glowing too. Good. And I'm glad to hear you say you're going to continue, because the fitness challenge was just an event that we hosted. We're going to do another one later on in the fall. We're going to do another one, but this was not just about doing something. This is about a lifestyle change. And so when you said I'm going to continue, that's the important thing, because we got to continue, and that's what makes it lifestyle when we continue. Thank you, Melodie. We're going to wrap up here. I just want to let the people know, do a little station identification, and let those know that who are watching or watching us on YouTube or listening to us on Apple or Google or Spotify or Anchor podcast. You're listening to the Harmonize Your Life or watching the Harmonize Your Life conversations on self-care for women of color podcast. You've heard us talk about the Harmonize Your Life Women's Self-Care Network. Ladies, join us in the Harmonize Your Life Women's Self-Care Network. I promise you, it will be a blessing to your life. You will not be disappointed when you join the Harmonize Your Life Women's Self-Care Network. Go to my website at drtonyalvarado.com. You'll find the information there, and how to join the network is simple. You click Self-Care Network, click join, sign up at whatever membership level you are comfortable, and let's get started so I can support you in your self-care, in your health and your wellness goals. Not only me, but all the women in the network. You heard Melodie say it's not just Dr. Toni, but it's the speakers that we bring. It's the tea time with Dr. Toni. It's the camaraderie that we have with one another, and our social media posts. It's the self-care retreats that we attend. It's the readings. It's all the stuff that we do, because iron sharpens iron. And you and I need to be connected to healthy communities if we're going to remain healthy, okay? Again, you can find this podcast on Apple, on Google, on Spotify. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go there and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need to get my subscribers up, y'all. So y'all go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, so that you'll always get a notification when a new podcast episode is uploaded every Monday. We upload new podcast episodes. Also, I want to invite you to go to my website and check out my Harmony Fitness apparel. We have exercise wear for women. We have t-shirts, we have fitness pants, we have water bottles, towels, gym bags. all those things there that will help you because you can be cute while you're walking through the park and while you're climbing ladders or climbing mountains with Dr. Toni or whatever it is you're doing, yoga or whatever. Come on, get some of that Harmony Fitness apparel, and I know you'll be cute in it. And when you get it, take a picture, post it on social media, and let everybody know that you got this on Dr. Toni Alvarado's website. All right. Listen, our guest today is Dr. Melodie Boone. Come on. I think I picked up on something there. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Pastor Toni.
We'll talk about that later. My guest today is Reverend Melodie Boone, and you can find her on Facebook at Melodie Powell Boone. You can also follow her on Instagram at Melodie Powell Boone. You can find her on Twitter at Melodie, or you can go to her website, thesacredconclave.com. Sign up to be a part of the work that she is doing there. She has been our dialogue partner for today, and we are so grateful to have you in our conversation on today. Thank you again for being a part of the Harmonize Your Life Conversations on Self-Care for Women of Color podcast. Thank you, Melodie. We'll talk again.
I just am honored to have been here. Thank you so much for asking me, Pastor Toni. It's been a blessing and a pleasure.
Thank you. I'll see you all soon. Hi, this is Dr. Toni Alvarado. I am so delighted about bringing the Harmonize Your Life podcast to you. Would you do me a favor? If you are enjoying this podcast, would you email me at hello@drtonyalvarado.com? I want to hear from you. I want your feedback. I want to know if there are any other topics that you are interested in as it relates to wellness, self-care, nutrition, or just overall bringing harmony into your life. Email me, contact me at hello@drtonyalvarado.com.